What's up, guys? It is JZNES back again with another video. Today we're talking about Dante's Inferno. We're going through the all the levels of hell. How many are there? 7 or 9 or some shit? It's a lot of them. But we're going through them all. Actually, we can find out. Let's see. What are the levels? So, let's say right here in the guide. This is a great way to start off this review, by the way. Not at all. There's Limbo. There's Lust. That's 2. I don't know if Limbo actually counts. There's Gluttony. There's Greed. There's Anger. Heresy. That's 6 so far. Violence. 7. Fraud and Treachery, which is 9. So there's 9 levels of hell, apparently. Not that any of us really know, because to know that, you would have to have gone through all 9 levels of hell, which you couldn't have lived through, obviously. But anyway, not important. Now, not to get too far into it, but I'm a believer. Yeah, not like that, but so all of this could truly be real. Not this story necessarily, but the concept of hell and all those levels and lots of demons and whatnot. And I believe there's an evil in the world that a lot of people can just attribute to people, but I attribute it to being the evil from the religious context of that. So anyway, yeah, so this kind of stuff, not that I take this stuff kind of too seriously, but it's one of those things where it's like, when you really think about it, damn, like, this could be real. You know what I'm saying? Like, not that we have any grasp or human concept of what a hell would even be like, but also I've always thought that in terms of a heaven and a hell, there would be sort of a personalized version of that, and that's kind of what this is for the main character Dante here. It's his Inferno, Dante's Inferno. It's based off the book or whatever. But anyway, so Dante's Inferno. So yeah, like, well, it's based off an epic poem, as they call it. But anyway, not important. Anyway, so yeah, but it's like his own personal hell of him going through and trying to find his loved one, his lady, his mistress there, his what's I trying to say, his lover, his wife, trying to find her, Beatrice, which is also the name of the lady from Series of Unfortunate Events. Anyway, so trying to find her, he fucked up. He fucked this other lady, even though he said he wasn't gonna do it. And there's some kind of deal with that to where he was supposed to remain faithful, otherwise the devil got his lady's soul or whatever. So that happens. So you gotta go and fight for her soul and fight through hell to even make it to where she is. And spoilers, I guess, for, I don't even know how well it lines up with the original story or whatever. I've only ever played this. I never got to reading much of the book. I started it and then it was I don't know, man, I just never got to it. It was one of those things I always had heard crazy things about, and I've always been kind of fascinated by monsters and demons and stuff, and just other planes of existence. It's kind of fascinating to think if there is a hell or a heaven or both, what those would be like, and what are the implications of that and whatnot. I think it's also funny when they make fun of stuff like that in South Park and stuff, only the Mormons make it to heaven, and it's the hell in South Park is pretty funny. But anyway, not relevant. Just saying, like, I like those two concepts fascinate me, and especially when we see them in media, which is not as often as you would think, because it's kind of hard to do a good version of that hasn't like been done before. I feel like you see heaven a lot more than you see hell in certain things, but yeah. And the point is, I always just thought it'd be kind of a personalized version, you know. The other thing is like there'd be some form of you being able to watch back your life or whatever, so you could like really get the impact of like everything that happened and whatnot. Um, so if that does happen, this will be in the little clip show of my life there, flashing before my eyes. I'll be talking about how I wanted that, and then it'll be happening, and it'll be nice. Anywho, so yeah, wow, this isn't where I thought I was gonna go with this review, and honestly, I didn't know what I was gonna say. Sometimes those end up being the best ones, where I don't know what I'm gonna say at all. But yeah, because there's not really a lot to talk about with the game. It's pretty typical stuff. It's a good game. I do like the game. Uh, but, like, there's not a lot to say about it, you know? It's kind of a sort of... I mean, God of War came out before this. I've never played one of those yet. I've seen stuff about it. But it's a typical hack and slash kind of game where you go through the levels of hell. And each of the areas kind of looks pretty similar, but they all have like little uniqueness, you know, quirks and uniquities, that's not a word, uniqueness to each area, but they're not really super diverse from one another. They all kind of have the same aesthetic, which, you know, doesn't help it not stand out, but that's fine. I mean, this game is pretty short, and I think that's another strength of the game, is that it gets in and gets out with its gameplay. If this game had been any longer, I don't think it would have like held as well, because the hack and slash gameplay is good and it's fun, but you know what you're getting yourself into when you play a game like that. You know, you can't really sustain a game with hack and slash gameplay like that for longer than like, I would say like 10 hours, you know. This is like an 8-hour game or something. Or it's really hard to make that kind of thing interesting. Now, to this game's credit, there is an upgrade system to where when you steal the souls of the enemies, and you have to do a specific like grab move, and then like you hit R2 or whatever, and you do these like quick time events. Yeah, the game has quick time events also, which they're not too bad. They're not too intrusive, and the game usually starts you, if you die, you usually start right before the quick time event again, so it's like that, you know, and there are only a few prompts each through the quick time event. There's just like this, so there's two options when you're using your R2 move. You can either use to absolve them of their sin, so that would mean that they get lifted up and they go to heaven and whatnot, or you can use it to torture them, essentially, cause them more pain, and then they get destroyed and sent to hell, or stay in hell. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, point is that if you do the absolving thing, it's like a Guitar Hero mini game with like this cross where like the things are coming towards you and you have to hit the buttons at the same time, and it gives you extra souls, which is like kind of your currency or your experience in this game. It's not really a currency, it's more of an experience thing in this game, but it is a currency. Like, there's basically a skill tree system based on how many of those demons you absolve, and how many you destroy or whatever. And so there's RPG elements. It's you level up essentially on each of those, given as many enemies as you can do that with. And then there's also like famous bad people, I guess. not like Hitler and stuff, but like famous historically bad people or something. I don't know, like kind of spread throughout the level. Um, like the first one that I remember was like Pontius Pilate from the friggin' Bible, and I'm just like, oh, this is kind of funny. Like, yeah, of course he would be there in hell, and you'd have the opportunity to absolve him or not. And a lot of the other ones were just like, I'm sure they were historically important people, but I didn't really recognize a lot of them. Some of them I did, but it's just kind of cool. That's a little another aspect there. But anyway, so you get a lot of opportunities to level up your stuff, and you're pretty much almost gonna get to the top of either of the, or probably both, honestly, of the level up systems. There, based on how many enemies. I didn't even like go after every enemy. I could have done that to, gotten the bonus leveling up and experience from. Because sometimes in the heat of battle, it's kind of hard to stop yourself from just killing them, and then you don't get any experience off of it. It would have been nice if you got like a little bit of experience, like maybe a neutral experience. You could like push either way, um, from just killing enemies. That way, it's not just a waste to kill enemies. Would have been nice there. Actually, I mean, you do get souls, which are basically, like I said, your currency. So on the skill tree, you have whatever level you are, there's a certain amount of skills there, and then, like, let's say you're level 2, you can have all of the level 2 and all of the level 1 spells, or, like, spells, abilities, or whatnot, and sometimes there's branching little, like, branches that you have to get this spell to get that spell kind of thing, but, so yeah, and then that constantly continues to build, depending on which you do more of, the absolving or the destroying. Um, and that's how you level up either side or both sides, and each has an experience meter, so that's kind of cool. It's pretty interesting. It's a different system for sure. And then there's like relics and stuff, which like basically are like sort of like equipment in a sense, where they do different little things. They have little perks like you don't get knocked back as much, or like, this thing is better, or that thing is better. So it helps little abilities like that. So those are pretty cool, and those actually level up themselves as well as you kill enemies, which is pretty neat. So yeah, there's kind of like a little bit of an experience system there. I don't know if that's based on how many souls you get or like what, but so that's kind of cool. And then you get certain spells from like key points in the game. People will give you spells and stuff that you can use. And they're all just like typical like, spell stuff. So yeah, there's like some RPG sort of elements there. And what else? There are these coins that are like collectibles. So there's like little hidden areas all around that you like want to like explore for. So these coins that get you different perks and more souls. I think it's just really more souls once you fill out like each of the things or whatever. So that's kind of cool. It gives you a little extra incentive to look around and like really explore and stuff, and like pay attention to the environment. So that's cool. Also finding those like famous characters or whatever, famous bad people. They're sometimes hidden as well, so it's always worth sort of exploring around and whatnot. So yeah, outside of that, like I'm saying though, outside of that, it's just standard hack and slash gameplay. The enemies, there's like a decent variety of demons and enemies there that do different things. You have this cross attack, which was pretty awesome. Really kind of it made me think like, why isn't something like this in like Castlevania? It felt like kind of like a Castlevania game. It felt like if they took Castlevania and crossed it over with Dark Souls or something. Like that's the kind of vibe I got. So it's pretty cool, like feeling to the aesthetic and the just like the world and whatnot. Anyway, you have this like cross move that's like a ranged attack, and you can like shoot it off at guys, and that's pretty cool. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm reviewing this game right now because like in the Bible, when Jesus dies, he like goes to hell for 3 days or whatever. Isn't that 3 days? Yeah, 3 days. And then he resurrects, after the 3 days or whatnot, depending on what you believe and whatnot. That's the story about like what happens there. And I think that it's canon or whatever. I don't know. I think that it's like he's supposed to be killing a bunch of demons and stuff, and like just being a badass like that. So like I like to picture Jesus for the tuxedo T-shirt. It says, I want to be formal, but I like to party. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so I like to picture that he was just down there for those 3 days, just like fucking slaying demons and just like really wrecking shit and being a badass. So this is kind of, if you could play that. So I'm playing this as like an early Easter thing. It didn't line up with the exact week of Easter, but like as an Easter game, because like what else is an Easter game? But this is relevant to that concept of Easter, because that's like what Jesus, he went to hell for 3 days to fucking bash some demon skull, is how I'm gonna think about it. Um, yeah, so it's kind of similar. But anyway, so that's why I'm playing this now. It's kind of relevant to that. So yeah, hack and slash gameplay. Oh yeah, you steal. The first thing you do is you fucking kick Death's ass and you steal a scythe to go around and fucking slice everyone with. So that's pretty cool. I mean, it's very. It's good, and the feel of doing your hacking and slashing feels really nice, and there's a lot of moves and a lot of variety as you level up, to keep the stuff interesting, and like combos and stuff. There's a lot going on there. Um, but it's a hack and slash game, so you just either are into that, or you get bored by something like that. Now I can stand that for a while. But like, yeah, eventually I get like kind of like, okay, this is just the same thing. It gets repetitive. It's a hack and slash kind of thing, you know. But the game does enough to keep it not feeling too repetitive. But yeah. But I'm just saying, like, it's that typical hack and slash feel of it could feel repetitive to you, maybe, if those kind of games feel repetitive to you. So yeah. Um but yeah, like, it's not super in depth with like the story or whatever. They do a decent enough job, I'm sure, capturing everything going on there. You like find a bunch of his like family members and stuff there, and you get to kind of feel his backstory, and um, you always have a good motivation of going after your girl and whatnot, trying to correct your mistakes of the past and whatnot, and it culminates pretty cool at the end there when you fight Lucifer, which is a pretty cool battle. The game has good boss battles, I would say, for sure. They're all like really like big demons. They're pretty unique and do a lot of different things, and I thought that was cool. So yeah, they're pretty neat boss battles. Yeah, but especially the final boss was pretty cool. Um, there's like a mechanic where sometimes you have to jump on giant enemies and like fucking stomp around and like uh, open doors and shit. So that's a thing. Sometimes there's block pushing puzzles. There's puzzle elements to the game. The block pushing ones are not like as fun. I was always just like, what am I supposed to do with this block? It didn't always necessarily make the most sense. Those are probably my least favorite. I did like despite it taking me a while to figure it out, I did like the one um, where you're like going through these different like ethereal doors or whatever, and it like puts you out on different sides and like different angles of this like thing, and so you're all like always on a different side and stuff. It was like in the second or third area, so I thought that was pretty cool. There's just a few ones like that were pretty cool. There's an area like near the end of the game, like the very end of the game, where it's just like a gauntlet of like these challenges again and again. I thought that was like a little much to just keep doing these challenges again and again. It would have felt nice if those were like spaced across the game or something. Would have been good, but I like when you get to the last area too, and you've been seeing like lava and fire and shit this whole time, and then it's just like icy and frozen over, and it's just like, oh, okay, it's like when hell freezes over. I get it. Like that's kind of cool. Very different from what you've been seeing the whole game, so it's like a nice contrast to that. So that's pretty cool. Um, yeah, but so yeah, there's some puzzle elements to the game. Uh, they're pretty understandable, but sometimes they're a little cryptic to like what you're supposed to do. But that's nice. It gets you thinking. Gets a nice breakup of the hack and slash gameplay and whatnot. And always like exploring around the level and stuff is like yeah, not that there's a lot of exploring, but there's always little hidden alcoves and stuff that you want to be looking around for. So that's nice to see how you get over there and whatnot. Oh. So that's fun. I mean, there's a decent amount of variety here to keep the game like pretty interesting and whatnot. But um, maybe it would have been nice if you would have gotten like different weapons and stuff. Like you basically just used the scythe the whole time. Oh yeah, you do a boss battle with Cerberus. I thought that was pretty cool. Um, Let me see. I'm just trying to think of what else to even see. I've already run out of things to say. Uh, I mean, the gameplay was pretty good. Like I said, the music's all right. Yeah, it's pretty like epic fantasy score kind of stuff, as you can probably hear. Graphically, I think the game looked good. I like the aesthetic of the game, like I was saying earlier. Um, oh yeah, here's the teleporting door thing that I was talking about. That was pretty cool. Um, the graphically, the game looks nice though. I mean, it looks like a standard PS3 game. It looks a little bit better than most PS3 games. But what I really like was the cutscenes. Like looked really fucking good. Like there's certain cutscenes that like just really like are really good. Like it's weird. There's few and far between, but they look like they could have been done in the PS4 or something. It was very impressive. Like I was like, wow, like this was PS3 and it's like 2008 or something. I'm thinking 2010. Okay, I was a little off there, but still very impressive. Some of those cutscenes there. Yeah, but each area is not like too terribly long either, so that's kind of nice. I mean, it's like an 8-hour game, so like each area is probably like an hour long, so it's not, you never stick in one area too long. But then again, like I said, the areas kind of blend together as well. So I wish that the aesthetic maybe would have let you kind of like it would have been a little bit different for each area. Would have been nice. There's a lot of like, not a lot, but there's some like philosophical and like certain little aspects of like of hell that's like woven into the story, and the little interludes that aren't really cutscenes, but like sometimes they're cutscenes, but they'll just like talk about like, oh, this is the level where all the politicians go or something. It's like, oh, okay, I get you. There was a forest where everyone like committed suicide went there and stuff, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. I'm glad that the forest was there. That was like a nice like breakup from the like cave atmosphere of like hell, where you're like mostly doing that the whole time. Um, so yeah. Um, but I did this game in like maybe 2 sittings. I did like one like play session last night and one this night. So it doesn't take too terribly long to beat the game. So that's kind of nice. I do like short games for sure. And like I said, I don't think this game had enough like substance there to like really keep going with this concept. It's a nice short game. You get in, you get out. The difficulty wasn't too hard, but it wasn't too easy either. I was on the easiest setting there, so I'm sure that could have been a lot harder. But yeah, I like I like it. I like the gameplay. I like the aesthetic. I like everything. Everything is good. It's not like gonna blow you away, but it's certainly unique and different. Um, but also it feels like a lot of things. Like I said, it's probably a lot like God of War or something. The gameplay. I just don't really play that many games like that. And for something like that, it's fine, and I like that. It's not my favorite sort of genre, the hack and slash genre, unless it's like a even Dragon Quest Heroes. I got a little bit like with over time, but that game is more so like you have to like defend a thing, and it's not like you're just going through levels. It's like there's always an objective and whatnot. This game is just like you're going on a linear path with some light exploration elements, so it's kind of there's structure to it and whatnot. So um but yeah. So it's still a good game, and I still like it. I said, yeah, I like the music, the graphics, everything about it's pretty good. Story wise, it's pretty decent. Like everything is solid, It's not gonna blow you away like too big, but it's good though, It does everything well, and it's an enjoyable experience while it lasts. So, yeah, like I said, not much to say about it. Happy early Easter. I think it's gonna be the week after this or whatever, because it's like new game, replay game, new game, replay game. So it happened to line up that way. But um, yeah, so hoping to I don't know. It's good. I don't know. That's about it. That's about all there is to say. Maybe you guys liked it too. Let me know what you think about this game in the comments below. Not that you will, but if you ever played this Dante's Inferno, let me review the book in the comment below. Let me know about that and how I should read that or something. I don't know. This is just always a game that I've like had sitting around for a while. I've always heard good things, and yeah, I mean, I see why people like it. It's certainly unique. It's kind of interesting that they chose to adapt like an epic poem or like a book like this into a game. I think that's part of what's cool about it, and just the idea of you're a guy going through hell and fighting a bunch of demons. Like that's a perfect thing for a game to be about. Like. But then again, I mean, like, I don't know. I can't think of that many other games where you actually do something like that. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. It's unique. You're actually doing that. Oh, I guess Doom, but that's about like the other one. Like, what's the other one after that? Like you got Doom. Okay, that's it, right? Like, what else? I don't know. I'm sure there is another one. I'm gonna get a bunch of comments about it or something. Anywho. Yeah. It's a good game. I'm going to give it an 8.1 out of 10. And it's been JZNES saying keep it classic. Stick around for more reviews, underrated games. Don't go to hell. And I'll see you guys in the next one. JZ out.